presents Sri Lanka versus Singapore on the women's side of the draw, live from the Racecourse International Stadium in Colombo. It's battling out for the minor places here this afternoon as these two women's teams come to the conclusion of a very long series and a weekend. It's been tough work as well. Here they come, their last time charging out in front of the fans. What have Singapore got left up their sleeves? And the corresponding game back in Korea, this one went into extra time as the Lady Tuskers rely on the likes of Aisha Pereira, Dasuni De Silva and Thanuja. Conversely, Singapore relying on Eunice Chu, Jane Chan, Alvinia Al Wong, Amanda Ung, Christabel Lim off the bench as well. These two teams are very, very well matched. Craig Chan of Hong Kong, the referee.
Captain Green ready.
And Singapore through Alvinia Al Wong. Started off Singapore in the red, the Lady Tuskers and the distinct black, white and green of Sri Lanka, and already they're starting to throw the ball around. It's getting a fair bit of air as Wasana goes charging in to the Singaporean defence. Now they swing it back the other way. Gee whiz, they've got some good width, and here's the space, and there's the pace, and here come the points for the Lady Tuskers. One more to beat. She goes round the outside. Great fend, great balance. And it's Thanuja who takes it in at walking pace. Try time for Sri Lanka. Welcome to Michael J. Hurley, watching from the Sunshine Coast in Queensland. G'day, mates. Third try for the tournament for Thanuja, and they've created that beautifully, Sri Lanka. Played the ball wide out towards the grandstand. As the conversion is successful, then brought it back, found the outside channel, and Thanuja got through the gears beautifully. That's great handling, and look at that. It's clear, 15 metres between her and the sideline. And it's pretty clear sailing. One to go. Look at her swap hands beautifully. That's how you do it, kids. Protecting the ball, opening up the fend right in the chest of the covering Singapore player. Sri Lanka restart, 7-0 they lead. And it goes down to Jane Chan. Chan hammers her way up towards the halfway. It's good advance by Chan.
Advantage high.
So manages to lay it off for Al Wong. Eunice Chu.
Advantage over.
Now Singapore playing very confidently. Amanda Ong. Ball bounces back. It's Sim again with the ball. She gets to the outside. Al Yong and Eunice Chu in support. Oh, the ball's been lost by Eunice Chu, and it's a turnover to Sri Lanka. Disappointing. Not a bad sequence of play from Singapore. They've got their own distinct style. And you've got Sri Lanka with this wonderful ability to move the ball wide with pace and run strongly. As we just look at this defensive play. And I think it was Aisha came up and over the top to slap the arms. The ball is lost, and here they go again. Sri Lanka almost cracking the gap and close. It's a pick and go now. They struggle on through Sajiwani. Advancing on the line, midway 22 and 10. Now they're looking for the players. Number 3 is Thikshana, and she slips through the gap. It's all over. Try time for Sri Lanka, much to the appeal of the grandstand crowd. Fixtures scores for the Lady Tuskers. Let's have a look at this again. Steps one, angles are back on the inside, and in the end, way too much pace, far too much pace for the Singaporean defence. She scores, and Sri Lanka extend their lead.
Let's go.
There's the restart by Sri Lanka. Pretty much on the money. They lead 14-0, 2 converted tries to 0. Disputed well by Sri Lanka, but Singapore take the ball. Officer Chan decides that's not how things are done in this game. As they welcome into the commentary position from the Hong Kong Referee Society, New Zealand-born Matt Rodden. Hello, Matthew.
Just hold.
Oh, it's wonderful to have you. Just want to even check to see whether you've got your talking bone turned. It's a dirty trick by Grant Boozeville to do that to you, Matt, but you can be forgiven. You'd expect them to be a bit more professional. At Singapore break out there, and they'll be brought back for the scrum restart. Well, Mr. Rodden, almost the end of another Asia Rugby 7 series for you, and how do you feel it's gone?
Well, it's been a long journey, starting all the way back in Singapore with the qualifier tournament. So yeah, it's been a long old slog. But from the referee's perspective, a very good season. We brought some new referees in this year, and they've all done a really good job.
As Sri Lanka break the line again, and Aisha Pereira takes her regulation try. She just about scores them at will in every game. There's another one for the Lady Tuskers. They move to 19-0 with the kick to come. And it has been a cram. See, there just seems to be rugby, and a little bit more rugby. And of course, you can't have them without the referees. So I guess you guys are to blame.
Well, I mean, that's one way of putting it, Jed. There's plenty of people to blame, but we're usually first cab off the rank when it comes to that. So but we'll take it. We're not too precious most of the time.
21 points to 0 now. The Lady Tuskers leading Singapore here in this consolation games. They're playing for the minor places. Now, Matt, you've obviously came out of New Zealand. How obvious to you were the opportunities to referee in Asia as opposed to back home?
Well, it's not actually what brought me to Asia in the first place. The bright lights of Auckland didn't really appeal, having grown up in New Plymouth. So,
yeah, say no more.
But no, I came for other reasons, and sort of got involved with refereeing in Hong Kong, and was lucky enough to get a job there.
Sri Lanka now approaching the try line again. They're threatening Singapore again. Oh, they're putting on a great show for their home fans. We remember this game in Korea a couple of weeks ago going absolutely till they were out on their feet, both teams. Almost 2 periods of extra time, but this time Sri Lanka making, well, no contest of it. So I moved to Hong Kong after, well, giving up the opportunity of being famous in Auckland. I know how you feel about that. What has surprised you about being a referee in Asia?
I think just wherever you go, surprisingly, you always manage to see someone who's got some interest in rugby. I mean, we've travelled to some pretty interesting places, some fairly small towns in China where they managed to put together a tournament, and you get a few of the fans into the stand, fill those 40,000 seats or maybe there's only 5 of them there. But just the width of it, it's wherever you go, you always manage to find a bit of rugby, which coming from New Zealand, it's a nice thing to see.
Half-time break, the official score, Sri Lanka leading 28 points to 0. Sitting with me in the commentary position is Asia Rugby referee, Matt Rodden. And how would you say that your refereeing's come along? I mean, have you developed a fully mature kind of philosophy to refereeing? Is there any kind of sort of things that have changed as you've become a referee, as you started in Hong Kong to where you are now as a referee? How do you think you've developed, and what are the parts that you've been really happy with?
Yeah, I think a lot of people will be surprised with the work that goes into refereeing now in terms of our reviewing and especially the fitness, the conditioning component. Obviously, I'm lucky enough to be employed at Hong Kong Rugby to work with developing referees, and that's been really rewarding to see Hong Kong refereeing go from strength to strength. But yeah, it's a lot of work goes in behind the scenes. Refereeing, and it goes hand in hand, rugby is constantly evolving and developing, so we've got to stay on the crest of that wave rather than being left behind. So yeah, we've got to be out there doing that work to keep improving day by day.
Sri Lanka lead off the second half. A restart from Thanuja, and it's taken by Singapore. Battle away with Sri Lanka, who've got a firm grip on this game at 28 points to 0. Singapore now start to move it straight at the Sri Lankan defence. They'll be backing themselves in the physical aspect of the game, Singapore, as they start bringing it towards the sideline. Look at this run. Good defence though. It's willing from Sri Lanka. They're slight women. They're not the biggest in the world, and Craig Chan will have to blow that up. Here's the first contact. A little bit reckless up and around the neck, and referees all around the world have been making a real move to protect the players' welfare by keeping those shots in the right area. The ball springs loose and it's set upon by Sanjiwani, and Sanjiwani goes for the line. They won't cover her off. Eunice Chu will try and stop the angle if she can, and she's done enough, Chu, to force her wide. But it's another try to Sri Lanka, and they move to 33 points to 0 with the kick to come. Well, you talk about the improvement of Hong Kong Rugby refereeing as we just watch that spill out the back. And Matt, in your opinion, who's the primary driver? Who's the key mentor that's been, I guess, maybe behind that development in Asian rugby refereeing, centred around Hong Kong and maybe your own development?
Yeah, I mean, we've been fortunate enough to work very closely with the Duke, Hugh Watkins, over the last sort of 4.5, 5 years, and he's been a massive part of that success. And I think the union as a whole, very supportive. Obviously, Di Reese, very supportive of the development of officials, and obviously Robbie McRobbie as well. And then a lot of the guys within our refereeing society put a lot of hard yards in terms of working with the referees, and obviously, you know, the guys who turn up, the weekend warriors every weekend, we couldn't really do it without them as well. So
Singapore, though, still enthusiastic, still battling away for the island city.
You set.
Chu, now they move it. Oh, Yong looking for a way through, but look at how that Sri Lankan defence, the Lady Tuskers swarming around the ball. They don't mind the close targets. Negates a lot of the size that the Singaporeans have as an advantage if they don't have the room to wind it up. And Sri Lanka happy just to make the tackles now, in total control of the match at 33 points to 0. And another small error continues. Well, the likes of Phoenix Chu and Ai Yoshida, we're starting to see some strong talent coming through in the women's refereeing side of things.
Absolutely, yeah. It's been great to get Phoenix on board. She started last season, and Eyes come in. We're really lucky to have Sakurako Kawasaki from Japan as part of the Asia group, who's not with us at the moment. She's in Denver for the start of the World Series, so a lot of experience and a lot of youth and development within female officiating in Asia, and a lot on the fringes looking to break into this group as well.
Sit.
Well, you've seen the heady lights now. You've swapped the possibility of Auckland's famous nighttime bright lights for World Series. Matt, tell us a bit about that. What's that been like as an experience?
Yeah, I mean, obviously for all Sevens referees, the dream is to break into that World Series group. And
oh, look at that! Powerful striding from Sri Lanka. They charge in again through number 1, Wasana. Yes, response from the crowd. She gets the full approval. Wasana. Great runaway. She's just burst through the tackle. Yes, that World Series, it would appear there's a lot of opportunity to get on there and stay on there. We may never see you again.
Well, I hope not, Jed. It's always good to catch up with you and Boozer. As long as we're not in the back streets of Korea or anywhere dangerous. But
that's right.
But no, it's a great experience. But being able to bring that learning and development back to Asia and to Hong Kong for myself is really rewarding, and to provide guys like Craig with that learning and give him the pathway and open some doors, hopefully for the next generation of these guys to replace those old guys that are still running around at World Series, such as myself.
Well, at the World Series, you'd see some real craftsmen out on the field, particularly in the players, and I'm sure you're now pretty much wise to kind of almost every trick in the book. There's probably one or two that the Kiwis have kept off you.
Sit.
But how do you assess the state of play amongst the top end of the Asia Rugby 7 series? You know, the Japans, the Hong Kongs, even to a certain extent, Philippines, Sri Lanka.
Yeah, well, this is my 5th season involved with the Asian 7 series, and without a doubt it just continues to go from strength to strength. Those top sort of 4 teams are always there or thereabouts, but the levels that they're playing at continue to improve, and we see that with obviously Japan being back on the World Series, Hong Kong pushing for that spot through the qualifier, and hopefully, either Sri Lanka or Philippines, I believe it will be joining them next season, if I'm right. So yeah, just it's great to be involved and to see that development over a number of years.
So we come down to the final 30 seconds of the game, and before we let you go, Matt, just any particular team out there that has the characteristics of being, shall we say, a delight to officiate? From our position here, or my position here on the commentary team, I'm a big fan of the Japanese women's side and the way that they operate, particularly on the ground. They seem to play the game with the right spirit, and they don't tend to be trying to be too sport. I mean, they play right on the edge, but they play very good rugby. In your experience, you've been in the middle with these teams. Who's the team that you rate the highest?
Oh, you're not wrong, Jed. The Japanese girls are certainly a delight to referee. China as well, China women's, obviously now on the World Series, and they've been playing particularly well. The Sri Lankan men are always exciting to watch too, and so it's good to get the best seat in their house to see teams like that put on a show.
So the Lady Tuskers complete the performance against Singapore, 40 points to 0, an outright win. They've clobbered Singapore after, what was trench warfare